you out of balance. So the symptom has been created inside of you so that it's a mechanism that lets you know that something's not right inside of me. I need to go and find out what I can do or what needs to be done to rebalance my health, bring me back into homeostasis. Without those signals, all types of things can happen. As soon as they give you a medication and that signal is being shut down or that sensation is being shut down, that's when you start developing all other issues in other areas of the body, because the signal process that was created inside of you is no longer there. It's been severed. It goes from wherever the nerve endings are in your body to your brain, and your brain indicates to you that something is not right. Go do something about it. So when we take medication that shuts down those sensors, the main source that is our communicator is between that link between the nerves and our brain has been shut off. So we don't know what to do. And we take the medication. They tell us to take it, and 2 or 3 years or 2 or 3 months later, something else is bothering us. The following foods are to say, or you are to say bye-bye to. Now, I know that some of y'all ain't gonna like me after I finish this. But let's be real. As I said, some of the foods that we eat, or the majority of the foods that we eat that they call nutrition, is not really nutrition at all. Processed foods. Processed foods are anything that is created in a laboratory or a lab and sits on the shelf and sits there 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 and sits there. You can sit something on the shelf for 2 years or a year and 2 years, come back 2 years later, it's still there. Still, you can open up the bag. It might be stale just a little bit, but the fact is that because it's so unnatural, anything that's natural eventually goes through a process of breaking down and rotting away, and that is the cycle of life. Anything that is natural eventually begins to decompose and goes back into the earth. If you got something that's sitting on the shelf for months and years, you need to stay away from it. I think it was 2 years ago I was just doing some browsing on the internet. I was looking for, McDonald's food and how McDonald's food reacts to us. And I couldn't get they got just the local internet up, and I couldn't get it out. But there's a lady who created what she called a McDonald's museum. In the McDonald's museum, she bought fries and put it underneath a glass dish. And she bought a hamburger and put it underneath a glass dish. And she's been keeping track of how long this museum is, how long she can keep it up and going. Anything that's natural, if you put an organic piece of fruit in a tray, because we buy organic, put a piece of organic fruit in the tray, and we don't do anything with it for a week, it already starts to decompose and break down. Anything that is natural and organic will eventually decompose and break down. Well, the woman has been keeping the museum up and running for the last 7 to 10 years. And the French fries still look like you can go out there to McDonald's and get the French fries, and the hamburger still looks the same way. Would you trust putting that stuff in your body? I know, with some of it. I mean, that was the biggest, Dwayne and I, my cousin, sorry, this was for the people on camera, but my cousin and I, we used to work at McDonald's, and we used to eat McDonald's all the time. It was good. But once we found out what was going on, once I found out what was going on with those types of foods, I had to give it up. What you got? White bread, white potatoes, white rice. White potatoes, there's a gray area with me on that. The white potatoes with the brown skin, the big ones that they grow, they call it the baking potato, baking type potatoes. That has no nutritional value at all. The type of white potatoes that I eat, my wife and I cook regularly, is the red skin potatoes. They have more nutrition, and whenever you cook those types of potatoes, don't take the skin off. The skin is where all the nutrition is. White rice, the processed white rice you need to stay away from with there are two types of white rice that have a pearl-looking color to them, and that is basmati and jasmine. Those two rices are pretty nutritious for you because they don't go through the process of sheathing off what is called the bran. There's a layer of bran that sits on top of the rice, and when they go through the heavy process of taking that bran off, and it gets pearly, it gets real white, and that's the end product that you see. That's what they serve most of the time in Chinese restaurants. If you go to a Thai restaurant, they'll give you the option of jasmine rice, and that's more healthy for you. Of course, soft drinks, fruit drinks, diet soda, fruit drinks, red meat, pork, candy, cakes, pies, dairy products, all fried foods, alcohol, partially hydrolyzed vegetable oils, McDonald's, Burger King, Wendy's, KFC, potato chips, pasta, snack foods. I had potato chips on there twice.
What's left?
That's my point.
What's left? McDonald's and Popeyes, they agree with you.
No. Coffee. What's left? Wholesome, whole vegetables and fruits. And I know that, I myself, I'm vegan. So anybody who does not regularly, who's going to fight and say, oh, I ain't giving up on me. I'm gonna eat meat. I ain't giving up on meat. That's cool. If you do not want to give up red meat and pork, those two meats, they're more damaging to your body than anything else. You can eat fish and chicken. But red meat and pork, when we consume those types of animal products, they stay in our digestive tract up to 3 days. 3 days in the digestive tract for anything, you are just asking for trouble, because the process that when we go through digestion, the body extracts the nutrients out of the body, and anything that's waste, it sends it through the intestines to be excreted out through our bowel. Well, it's designed to eat it, digest it, send it through the bowel, and out within a matter of 24 hours. Anything that's staying in your bowel longer than 24 hours is just sitting there and rotting. That's the reason why we have a high prevalence of colon cancer in this country. And the FDA is trying to tell us, but they really aren't trying to tell us. They're saying to us that the reason why we're having colon cancer is because of the amount of animal fats and proteins that we eat, but they can't move it to the point where they're saying, don't eat this food at all, because they're getting their pockets greased. And because they're getting their pockets greased, they're only limited in what it is that they're able to tell us. Do you all remember when Oprah had her special on was it mad cow disease? She had her special on mad cow disease, and she told the people to stay away from this type of beef. And the people in the meat and dairy industry got pissed off at her, and they tried to sue her. They tried to sue her because they were saying, well, if you tell the people that they can't eat my beef, I'm going to go broke. Well, what's more important, you going broke or you saving people's lives? I think saving people's lives is more important than you going broke. Go find some other way to produce your money. But nonetheless, I can't tell everybody that. They got to find their money somewhere. But moving on. Why should these foods be eliminated? All the foods on the list are out of processed with unhealthy fats, simple carbohydrates defined by flour, sugar, caffeine, and they are with essential vitamins, minerals, and micronutrients. Diabetics are deficient in essential vitamins, minerals, and micronutrients. Adding two negatives together gives you a greater negative. So if you're devoid of nutrients and you're not getting them, you're just making your issue even more compounded. Why pick on red meat, pork, and dairy? These are quotes from various sources stating why. From a Dr. I.M. Rabinovich. A potential diabetic can be transformed into a completely diabetic individual by administering administration of the time-honored carbohydrate-free meal of meat and fat. So he's telling us that, yeah, you can become even more diabetic by eating meat. From the Diabetes Care of 1984, quarter pound of beef raises the insulin levels in diabetics as much as a quarter pound of straight sugar. Cheese and beef elevate insulin levels higher than dreaded high carbohydrate foods like pasta. That's coming from the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition. And also from the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition, a single burger's worth of beef or 3 slices of cheddar cheese boosts insulin levels more than almost 2 cups of cooked pasta. Moving on. To summarize the effects of meat eating on diabetes, we turn to the book, The Cure. This is A Cure for Diabetes. This is a book that this gentleman here, he's located out in Arizona, and he's done some tremendous work on those people that come to him who are diabetic. He has a video out that's called Curing Your Diabetes in 28 days. Brings them to his ranch, puts them through a fasting process, and gives them all live food. And in a matter of 28 days, they're off their insulin or off their diabetic medication. By the way, his name is Gabriel Cousin. Meat eating is diabetogenic on all counts, and meat is by no means an ideal food or protein source for humans. Meat eating creates the preconditions for diabetes and accelerates the complications of the condition once it has manifested. The next page is most of the people who are taking or have been diagnosed with diabetes type 2. Of course, they're on medication. Educate yourself. Take the vested interest in knowing everything that exists within your body. Don't put it in the hands of somebody else, because not everybody has the same interest in you as yourself. Make sure that you invest in you. The medications that we take, know what it is that you're taking, know how it is impacting your body, know what it is doing, and know what the side effects are. So, in essence, learn the truth about your medication, then work to reduce them and eventually eliminate them. This is a profound statement. This country is very advanced in technology. Some of the leaps and bounds that they have been able to make with medicine and the technology of medicine is greater than any other country in the world. However, they always make the same mistake. They tell the patients who come to them, I'm going to give you a medication, and then they just cut it off. They should be telling the patients who come to them, I'm going to give you a medication, then I'm going to work with you to get you off of this medication, because if you stay on this medication for a period of time, it's eventually going to affect you. They are good. This country is good in trauma. You sever your arm, put it in ice, take it to the emergency room. They'll find a orthopedic surgeon. He'll sew your arm back on, and they'll get the nerve endings correct, and you'll be able to use it again. They're good with trauma. The emergency room in this country, if you go in there with gunshot wounds, you come back out walking in a matter of weeks. They are good in trauma, but in terms of long-term care, they have a lot to learn. They should be studying the success that the Eastern healers have been able to introduce into their society for thousands of years. They make a mockery of Eastern medicine because they say that they're old. It's old philosophy. If it's working, who cares how old it is? Acupuncture, aromatherapy, herb treatments, everything that has been on this planet for thousands of years that we have been administering to keep people well, they just decided that it's no good because it's old. But come on now. I mean, they continue to upgrade the automobile, but the automobile still has an engine. It has 4 wheels. It has a steering wheel for you to steer. And, you put gas in it for it to drive. It's old technology, but it works, right? Why? I mean, you can expound dismiss it and say it's old technology and I don't want to deal with it. I have my opinion of why they do that. Avandia is one of the drugs that they use to treat type 2 diabetes. Metformin, that was sitting my wife in the fit. I thought she was going to strangle me because the doctor told me. Oh my goodness. The doctor of the future will give no medicine, but will interest her or his patients in the care of human frame in the proper diet and the cause and prevention of disease. Thomas Edison said that. The man who invented the light bulb claimed he invented the light bulb. He not. I know different. But he made that statement. All conventional diabetic medicines have potential side effects, some more severe than others, and in some cases, some are fatal. Also know that these drugs do not address the root cause of the disease. Remember I was saying that they only cut the symptoms off? They only treat the symptoms and can eventually make the condition worse over time. Since the inception of oral diabetic medications, well over 40 years, there have been generations and classes developed to treat the disease. Here is a list of some of those medications.